Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news mashup video today, starting with Dave Allen, who returns to the ring following a retirement. He last fought in 2020, but he's back and back for more, and with some reasons for his return. So you can see here on screen, so this is the promo poster, or actually this is fightzone.uk's website. He'll be fighting on that platform. It's actually in physical form, a card hosted in Sheffield but broadcast on fightzone.uk. See here on the right hand side of the promo graphic, he's actually facing a guy called Andrea Pesce. So he's a 7-13 journeyman. As we know, Dave Allen, 18-5-2 record. He last fought Dorian Dutch, a bit of a suspicious sort of fight in the end. That was in 2020. So Pesce himself, and you never expect great things when the photo on BoxRec is some sort of sepia type photo. He's number 463 in the world, number 13 of 17 of the boxers, heavyweight boxers from Italy. So yeah, I'm not really expecting much from this. But he's fought a couple of guys that you may know. I mean, the fight before against Andrei Rudenko, probably the highest profile name on his record. But it is a case that, you know, he's a journeyman. I'm not really expecting much. When he fought Rudenko, he was thoroughly outboxed in that one. So Dave Allen is back. I think we know he's going to get the win here, but why is he coming back? Because when he retired, he said he was giving it up. He wanted to do it for the right reasons. He was doing it for his health, etc. But he's back. And I know that there will be a lot of people asking the question, is this the right thing? And, you know, I guess fair play to him. He can do what he wants with his life. And obviously, if he wants to come back, he will come back, and that's over to him ultimately. But people, I think, rightly so, do have some concerns. I mean, he certainly does sound different from, you know, a number of years ago, slurring his words to some extent. And he's spoken openly about his mental health struggles. But not only that, the physical ailments, you know, headaches and other ailments coming out of the sport of boxing, which when he retired, he did say that some of that stuff was getting better. But he's been in the gym, he's been working out, and he's been preparing for this return. And this is just a clip of him training. And he's actually one of these guys, although he's got a pretty decent-sized social media following, doesn't really post that many clips. But in here, he posted 4 different clips. But I guess that's by the by. But through his social media, because I've been following, you know, I haven't really been talking too much about it, but following his sort of progress in recent months, has been posting different shots of his progress. So here, I think he said he was it 260 pounds, or was that another shot? One of these other recent ones. Here we go. Here's a sort of progress photo. So it's not like Dave Allen is just coming in, you know, off the street. He has been training, I think it's for 3 or 4 months now. And his rationale, because there's been different interviews, print and online, and also YouTube interviews that he's done in recent months talking about his return. And I guess from his post here, which his most recent post, he talks about the comeback. This is the headline for the Sky Sports story. I'm not trying to become a world champion. I'm not trying to become a boxing superstar. I'm just trying to give back to boxing. Dave Allen has revealed his reasons for launching a comeback this week. And he has spoken about wanting to give profile and opportunities for fighters that he is working with and managing. One of them is going to also be on this card, Stevie Levy, a female boxer. So he has obviously sort of built himself a bit of a stable that he's working with and wants to give opportunities. And I think, yeah, that's probably part of the reason. But I guess where it's with Allen, I think he missed it. He was out of the spotlight, out of the limelight. He wasn't the center of attention. I think he misses the trappings of boxing that he was afforded in terms of the attention, the profile. Because let's face it, after he retired, probably a lot of people, especially those who had been following him on social media, if they were boxing fans, you know, and they liked Allen because he was a character in boxing, maybe there just wasn't the following for him and some of the stuff that he was doing. I think for him, And because remembering he's, what, 28, 29 years old, he's probably thinking, oh, well, I can still make a run at this and have a bit of fun, make a bit of money. And I do think he will be wanting to give back and afford opportunities to his fighters and such. But I think there's also, as I say, a part of this return that is built around that he wants to be part of the spectacle, be front and center of some of this. I mean, we've seen when he's been doing different gigs like commentating, he loves being in the limelight. He loves being part of things. And, you know, he is a character that has had a following, and I'm sure that he missed it once he retired. So how long this comeback lasts is anyone's guess, but he has sort of said, look, if I was just after make money, to make money, I would have just gone and fought on DAZN against a big name, got paid well and got beaten up, and probably would have been in the same sort of situation I was at the point that I retired. I still think that eventually he'll get tempted into that, but for now he's saying that he's doing it to give back, and he's got his own reasons for doing it. So he's facing this journeyman, and I should expect that he is going to win. And as I say, it's on Fight Zone. And I'm a maniac, so I've already re-upped with a new monthly subscription just so I can catch and cover this fight. And I'm sure there'll be some other people doing the same. And this card's actually, compared to some of the recent ones, it's not too bad. There's actually seemingly a bit of an okay card for the Fight Zone. That's a Dennis Hobson run event in Sheffield. I think it was a Ponds Forge Arena, something like that. Anyway, moving on. So Joyce and Frank Warren of Queensberry Promotion, they have announced that they are going to continue working together. Joyce signing an extension to his existing contract with Queensberry, saying, I'm delighted to announce that I'll be extending my promotional deal with Frank Warren, Queensberry Promotions. I believe my management, SJM Boxing, Queensberry and BT Sport, I'm in the right place to achieve my dreams and become a world champion. Hashtag the Juggernaut. Also a graphic here from Twitter, from Frank Warren's Twitter feed. I'm in the right place to achieve my dreams and become a world champion. Frank Warren himself, quoted by BT, I am delighted Joe has agreed to a long-term contract renewal with us at Queensberry for the period of time where we are confident he will be crowned WBO world champion. So that was Frank Warren. Something about that quote didn't really sort of sound quite right. It was like, we're only keeping him on for the period we think he's going to be any good. Just something about that just, you know, didn't quite hit right. But yeah, I did look for a press release via their website, but the website seems to be a little bit out of date, so I couldn't go into any further depth in terms of comments and quotes from them. But in terms of my thoughts on this, I don't mind it. I think in this sort of period of time in the heavyweight division where a lot of big promoters are not getting a lot of good fights for heavyweights, Joyce sticking with Frank Warren is probably much of a muchness with moving elsewhere. Sometimes, you know, better to stay where you are. The grass is not always greener. Let's face it, if Tyson Fury is fighting in the United States, he is co-promoted by Frank Warren, then Joyce has this sort of potential, and I think already has surpassed Daniel Dubois, at least in terms of the pecking order. Maybe not with Frank Warren himself, who is always sort of seemingly, you know, lent towards and favoured Dubois for a long-term heavyweight to pan out. But right now, Joyce seems to be the #1 man on the totem pole, whereas Daniel Dubois is obviously in a rebuild. But I think it's a case of, I know some people will say, oh, he should have left Frank Warren, oh, he should have gone to Matchroom, but elsewhere at the moment, promoters, even Eddie Hearn, he's not getting, apart from outside of, you know, Anthony Joshua, there's not a lot of big fights that have been sort of made or in the offing. You've had a rematch with Dillian White and Alexander Povetkin, Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. It's a bit lean this year at Matchroom in the heavyweight division. And Joyce has already had a fight with Carlos Takam. That's probably, you know, better than about 90% of the heavyweight division right now, who are sort of sitting, waiting and watching and not fighting for the most part. A lot of guys inactive. Joyce seemingly going to be out again soon. Maybe it will be a tick-over fight. And when I say tick over, I mean a decent level opponent, but he should win, should get a bit more experience, and hopefully ready and willing and able for a bigger fight when it comes along. Warren and co keep talking about a title shot against the winner of Usyk and Joshua. Joyce is currently rated number 2 in the WBO, potentially could end up getting made mandatory. They've made signals that he will be, but that's not confirmed. The WBO has not said that publicly at this point, but probably likely given that Frank Warren has those ties into the WBO. But given Usyk is the WBO mandatory currently, it's not going to be the next fight, for Joshua if he does beat Alexander Usyk. And if Usyk beats Joshua, well, there'd be a rematch. So I think they're sort of fudging things with fans in terms of where next, who next, what next for Joe Joyce, but it's boxing after all. It's the art of smoke and mirrors, and hurry up and wait. We'll just sort of tell you about this, thing that we're going to say is going to happen, and it could be 2 years down the track. But eventually, he's going to be in a big fight against who? Unclear at this point. But I don't mind him re-signing with Frank Warren. How about you? And also, just to end this heavyweight news mashup video, I did sort of have this sort of a post up on Twitter, Otto Wallin sort of expressing frustrations about his current situation, but in the comment section, and this was just quite funny, Christopher Lovejoy weighing in, saying, Salita got my number, let me know. Otto Wallin is in there saying, Christopher Lovejoy, you're funny. Christopher Lovejoy responds, admit you don't want it, I'll leave you alone. But you seem like you want to fight, so should I make that call or what? And Otto Wallin responding, Christopher Lovejoy, let me know when you're fighting somebody with a pulse and don't quit in the first round and we can go from there. And Lovejoy declares that Wallin is officially on the hit list now. I'm sure he's quaking in his boots, but I saw that. It did make me chuckle, so I thought I'll share that too. Anyway, what do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.